Hey guys, I'm gonna make another video. Jakey here is just like he's being real freaking cute. Aw, so cute. So I wanted to talk about okay, I have a lot on my mind to share with you guys, so I think I might do even another video, which will be my third one here, but I have different topics and stuff, so oh Jakey's so cute. Um, so I thought I'd talk about in this one, I know I do have a bit of a different approach than maybe the average person on the borderline and PTSD kind of stuff, the more behavioral kind of anxiety stuff. I have, I do believe that, I believe you can be treated without, like, you can overcome these things without the mental health system. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying it's like I am like I'm doing stuff and stuff like that. Like I'm connected to programs and stuff like that. But I just kind of I feel like I have borderline. You know, I have that label. Like people, you could put that label on me. But I also look at it very differently, as in like a very like spiritual, like different way that's like really healing for me more than like I find it more healing rather than I feel the borderline um, label is like almost victimizing. I feel to myself by being in it, if that makes sense. Um, like puts me in some kind of category that like I don't like, because the more I live into that, the more I actually get sick, um, or anything like that. I feel um, I feel I'm this like I've found this thing that there other people identify with, I guess, or whatever, or it's um, something that I really feel is an alternative look to things than the borderline um, aspect and the traits and the whatever. Um, those are just a general, um, what most borderlines like. It's just a general thing, really. Um, but I feel, I feel I'm something called a light worker. Some people will say. Um, Usually it's someone, um, and this is something I use as an alternative than living in the borderline label, um, because I find it more healing to do this. So, and more, I feel I get farther in my growth and stuff. So I feel I'm something called what's a light worker. Um, and I can identify with it, from what most people say it is. I've done some research and stuff. I do feel like this because light workers typically come from places where they have a lot of not so good experiences, in childhood or in past lives, and they're here on Earth to expand a lot and have enlightenment, um, way more than the average person once you've completed. But the thing is, you have to have the whole like breakdown of your life first, like, which would be, you could put the borderline in there. Like I became subconsciously aware of some things when I was 21, I think 20 maybe. I became aware of my subconscious, and that's how the borderline started. I became aware of what was real and always there. um, I don't know if that's making sense. I'm just going to keep talking. um, And I started to become aware. And just becoming aware, I developed some, I just couldn't manage it, and I would cut out this, suicide, drink, blah, 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 right? Because I couldn't deal with everything. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Um, I just feel being a light worker is you actually are very um, gifted in some ways, and you have gifts. You're usually someone who's not understood. Um, I get frustrated because people don't understand me, and it's hard to have conversations with people sometimes because um, I can't really have like deep spiritual conversations with many people because I can't. It's hard. It's just really hard. Um, Light workers usually are here to share their story, and they have had a lot of experience in trauma, in um, out like abuse, like drug abuse, whatever, just anything like that, eating disorders. They usually have a huge variety, like physical disorders and all that kind of stuff. They've experienced a lot because then they have a lot to give to other people in the world and to help. Typically, like as a light worker, um, I become more and more really okay being alone. Um, I find like just any crowds or anything, and like just so sensitive. Like as I'm growing more as a person, I become more sensitive to things around me and my surroundings. Also, there's of course like the gifts of your third eye coming out and stuff like that, and just your awareness is like your awareness is like hugely more than what any average person would have. Um, and there's many gifts in there. There's usually some like your purpose is to basically just help people use your experience to help other people expand, like to work on yourself as much as you can and to expand as much as you can and grow and heal so you can help other people uh, expand as well. Just kind of returning, okay, let's help them expand consciously or whatever. Um, so that's kind of like a purpose, but there's usually for like me, there is, I know for other people, there's usually like a um, certain particular area in your life where you are kind of called to go with, and there's certain reasons usually from your past or something like that that you feel extra called to, um, so you're to follow through with that. um, so like yeah, and I'm talking like something like really deep inside you that you feel is so what you need to do on this earth and stuff. um, Having all said this, light workers typically go into darkness for periods of times, which to me would be like being in a big episode of like my borderline. And they go into this dark place um, subconsciously and stuff. And then, but when they're in that dark place, they become consciously aware of more subconscious stuff. So when they're able to reboot, like I'm able to reboot myself eventually and get myself in my light going again, my conscious light, then I'm consciously aware of what I had just learned, and now like I'm learning more things. And it's a cycle, and that's how you kind of like get to that like really high um, consciousness at a consistent level eventually one day. Um, So this is like my hope. This is like my healing path. This is where I've discovered works best for me. And then I use I still like use like some DBD skills here and there, but I use like spiritual skills, and I use a lot of skills, um, stuff like that. My higher power is like my higher consciousness, my higher self, the source of energy in us, that's that higher consciousness. But I do believe this is me, um, and I found other people who identify like this. Um, it's 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 just that you extend in the end, like very, like a lot higher than the average person. Um, it's actually not nice sometimes. I know my gifts, but I don't like being so aware of certain things. Um, in situations with people I don't know, people I know, I don't necessarily like my awareness sometimes. And that's another thing that can happen too is um, there's a lot of frustration because it's like the world is like around you. And I'm like, oh my God. And I see so many things. And I'm like, oh my God, really? That person just did that to that person? Or like, and stuff like that. And like, you're very sympathetic too, though. Like, you're not like angry. You're just like, what? Like, and really, you feel so much. You're like an empath too, right? But like more intense. Like, you just feel so much of this world. It's just like crazy. It's just, um, and you see the world differently. I see the world so different than I used to. I just, my awareness of the world and everything, it's so hard to explain, but, um, you know, and you start to experience oneness and feeling whole, and you get like I get little touches of what it will be like in the future kind of thing, as I work through all my issues. And it's a long, long path, you know, but I'm going to get there. And I get little touches, and sometimes for weeks at a time, I'll be pretty like highly conscious, and then I'll go subconscious. When I go subconscious, I'm consciously aware of it. So um, that's where you learn. Um, pain is growth. If there's anything I've learned, pain is growth. Um, I don't think it's good to sit and dwell in the past if you're very consciously in the present and like kind of like doing your life and stuff. Like I don't sit around and think of the past, but I think if it does happen and I do slip into my darkness mode, I think to be aware of the things that go on, and yeah, the things that go on in my head. So um, when I come out of the darkness, back into the light, um, I have a whole set of new grounds. So um, this is this is how I like to look at it, and this is what works best for me. Yes, I've been diagnosed with borderline. Yes, I'm being referred to DBT. Still unsure about that because I'm not sure if it's for me, to be completely honest. Like, I'm not sure if it is. They say everybody can benefit. Well, yeah, I'm benefiting from it though. Like, I'm still looking up stuff. I'm still like, because I'm open to so many things. It's just, anyways, I probably missed a bunch of stuff about it and stuff, but sorry, that's Jake. He's like scratching himself here. I got a new computer. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I don't know if that like helps, but it's what helps me. So, um, yeah, and I'm gonna share some of my progress when it comes to like looking at my like actual traits and where I'm at and how they're presenting in my life and what I've become aware of and stuff over time. So I will do that too eventually. Kind of go through them and explain how they work in my life and things I've overcome and all that stuff. But this video is getting long, so Jakey's being so damn cute. Um, I'm gonna let you guys go for now. I love you guys. Subscribe, leave a comment, and like the shit out of this video.